Good day, viewers. Today, I will briefly speak about a highly relevant story to our times about Gajendra, the Elephant King. This episode appears in the Bhagavata Purana and is widely told and retold in countless languages. The central idea of this story is about a struggle a man undergoes in this life, always trying to prove to himself and to the world that he can overcome any adverse situation. It also shows that situations can become much easier to handle when there is faith and prayer to God. Well, the story begins by saying that there was an elephant by name Gajendra who was roaming about in a huge forest near Mount Trikuta. Gajendra had his herd along with him, and Gajendra was the leader or the king of that herd of elephants, meaning that he was physically very well built and powerful among them all. In the herd, there were countless wives of Gajendra, his parents, siblings, and a host of other relatives. Gajendra led the way, that is, Gajendra led the herd into the forest. After rampaging the forest, the herd became thirsty and began to search for the food. Finally, they spotted a large expanse of water which was cool and tasty. The entire herd entered the water and began drinking, bathing, and playing. As they were tired due to the extreme heat and dust in that forest, the elephants trumpeted with loud decibels with happiness and joy in the cool waters. So excited were the elephants that their partying disturbed the other animals and aquatic beings in the water. Even after having their fill, the elephant stayed put in the waters, including Gajendra. It is said Gajendra was showing his might to the other elephants in the herd. Since the trumpeting did not subside, a very big crocodile, also known as Makara, who was inside the waters, came to the surface and instinctively understanding that Gajendra was the leader or the king, he caught hold of Gajendra's huge leg and tried to pull him deep into the waters. Now, let us relate this to our own lives. When we are blessed with good health and wealth, we think we are all powerful. We feel that we are invincible, and drunk with such ego, we play party in the world with our family and friends, just as Gajendra the elephant did when he was playing in the water. Just meeting the basic needs of our life is not enough for man. He wants power, he wants money, which should last generations down the line. We recently saw a politician making a open claim that what he has earned is enough for the next 7 generations. Just like such persons, Gajendra, after having his bath and drink, he and his herd could have come out of that river, but they did not. They created havoc in that river. Gajendra stayed on, enjoying the comforts of life with his family without knowing the danger in the form of crocodile. When at the peak of happiness, we also ignore all the telltale signs of danger, just like Gajendra. Because we are so much engrossed in our family and day to day life, we fail to notice the danger that lies ahead. This is what happens in the today's world, a party gone high with loud noises, shrill shouts, laughter, and devil may care attitude of the participant without any concern or without feeling guilty of creating such disturbances to others. Gajendra and his herd also was no exception. They created havoc in that river, which angered the crocodile and caught Gajendra's leg. Since Gajendra was a very huge and powerful elephant, he tried to stomp out the croc. However, the croc was also very powerful and did not let go of Gajendra. When the croc gained strength, it pulled Gajendra into the waters. When Gajendra gained strength, it pulled croc to the land surface. The other elephants in the Gajendra's herd could not help their leader or their king. They silently watched, waiting for the outcome. Here again, Gajendra's story relates well to us. When you are young and strong, free and independent, with power and money, people will flock around you from all directions, enjoying the parties you throw, and you become the man of the day, or the blue-eyed man in your organization, or a successful business tycoon. Everybody will be trying to please you and want to be your favorite man. However, when you lose the situation, when you lose your position, you become alone. There is nobody to help. The men and women who enjoyed our hospitality are nowhere to be seen. They are all busy now. Just like Gajendra, who was fighting his lone battle with the croc, man also has to fight alone in adverse situation. Gajendra, who thought nobody can defeat him, since he was all powerful, trusted his physical health, tried to escape the vice-like grip of the croc. He used his other legs, trumpeted, pushed and pulled the croc through his trunk, goaded his large tusks into the body of the croc, but to no avail. The croc did not let go of its grip. Similarly, when man is facing adverse situations in his life, he uses all his physical and mental faculties to overcome problems in life. And when that fails, he seeks the help of police, lawyer, doctors, mediators, and others depending upon the situation. He does everything. Man does everything except one thing. What is that? Well, I will come to that shortly. Bhagavata Purana says that the fight between Gajendra and the croc went on for thousands of years. What we have to understand here is that lifespan of living beings was much longer in other yugas than Kali Yuga. We also need to understand that the major part of Gajendra's life was spent in fighting with the croc, just like the major part of a human life is spent in solving day-to-day problems without thinking of anything else. We are always fighting for our food, water, and shelter, and beyond. Now, coming back to the story, Gajendra was exhausted, both physically and mentally. He no longer had the confidence, strength, and power to fight with the croc. All the members of his herd were silently watching. There was a plea of cry, despair, and helplessness in Gajendra's eyes when he looked at the entire herd and those who were dear to him in his life. Nobody came forward. Again, the relevance of this scene is closely related to our lives. When you are incapacitated due to an accident or due to old age, you will be unable to talk. You will be lying on a bed in a hospital. You implore with your eyes, with self pity, badly seeking some consolation, a word of sympathy, a loving gesture from the people who stand around you, waiting either for your recovery or for your death. Such is life. When Gajendra had totally exhausted all his powers, then it is said he remembered God. When he was playing in the waters with his family, he did not remember God. When he and the entire herd were disturbing the whole forest and the river, he did not remember God. When the croc caught his leg, he did not remember God. When in imploring eyes he looked at his herd members seeking their help silently, then also he did not remember God. Why? Because man, when he is in the web of samsara or family life, everything looks good. Everything looks happy. We do not remember God. When we are sitting on a high chair, when we are partying, we do not remember God. When there is an adverse situation, we try to fight with our own mental and physical powers. We try to seek help from anybody and everybody. As I told a minute earlier, when everything fails, then we remember and pray to God, just like Gajendra, the elephant king. When on the deathbed, we remember God. However, there are some exceptions here also. In this Kali Yuga, the influence of Kali or the bad thoughts is so strong that the people fail to pray even on deathbed, calling themselves intellectuals, progressive, forward, secular, and atheists only as far as Hindu Dharma is concerned. Anyways, to go back to the story, so Gajendra, weak and with no option left, prays to all the gods in the universe to give him moksha or self realization so that there won't be any rebirth and all its attendant problems or sorrows. Here we have to remember that since Gajendra, in his previous birth, was a king by name Indradhyamya, and he had earned a lot of punya. And that is the reason the Purana says he was able to remember God in his final moments. Remembering God in the final moments of life is the bedrock of faith amongst Hindus to get moksha. Hearing the cries, pleas, and prayers of Gajendra, all the gods from the heavens came down, but none of them could help Gajendra, it is said. Had Gajendra prayed just for release from the clutches of the croc or to lessen the pain, gods would have granted his wish probably. What Gajendra asked was moksha, which only Lord Narayana had the power to do so. Also, in Hinduism, as Trimurti gods, each god has been assigned a duty. Like Brahma is the creator, Vishnu or Narayana is the preserver, and Shiva is the destroyer at the end of each cosmos cycle. Hearing the pleas of Gajendra, finally the Lord Narayana himself came down from the heaven. Seeing this, Gajendra cries with gratitude, and with one last physical effort, he plucks a lotus from that river and worships Lord Narayana with that lotus flower. The Lord uses his Sudarshana Chakra and kills the croc and takes Gajendra to the higher realms of heaven. And Gajendra, it is said, attains moksha. I need to inform the listeners that in the Bhagavata Purana, in each of the episodes, Vedavyasa informs the listener or the reader the benefits of listening to such episodes. However, in the case of Gajendra Moksha, Lord Narayana himself informs the reader or the listener the benefit of Gajendra Moksha. The Lord says, whoever remembers the story of Gajendra Moksha daily or recites the Gajendra Moksha Stotra, he will get to remember the Lord on his deathbed and thereby attain moksha. Finally, there are two key takeaways from this story. Even though man has never prayed, but prays with utmost devotion and faith during a crisis, God is sure to provide a solution. Pray to God and then tackle the problems. It is much easier to solve than trying to solve the problems first and after failing and finally coming to the God as a last resort. Secondly, instead of praying only during a crisis as Gajendra did, praying or expressing gratitude to God on a daily basis will lessen the troubles that are brewing in one's life. In this regard, please listen to my talk entitled Thanks and Gratitude in Hinduism. I give the link in the description. Please have a look. And thanks for watching this Gajendra Moksha. Om Tat Sat.